Good morning. Anthony Cerna, Fire Chief here in the City of East Chicago. We're going to be doing some training today called Direct On-Scene Education, D.O.S.E. This training is to help offset and combat the infant mortality rate. East Chicago, Indiana, unfortunately, the 46312 area code has the highest infant mortality rate in the state of Indiana. The training today and for the next 3 days is being given by Mike Sharp from the St. John Fire Department. This direct on-scene education is our way to get out into the community and do what we can as a fire department to help reduce that rate of infant mortality here in the City of East Chicago. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Sharp. I'm with the St. John Fire Department. We're here in East Chicago today. Next couple of days, we're going to be teaching the D.O.S.E. training. It's one of our ways, like Chief Cerna said earlier, one of our ways to give back to the community and try to combat the infant mortality rate. The East Chicago 46312 area code is one of the highest in the state. We want to get those numbers down. The state itself has a problem. A couple years ago, we created, a program was created and brought to Indiana through the Indiana State Department of Health. With that, I took some training. We've been kind of getting this baby rolling. As I've said before, it's all about the babies. We're here to educate and prevent infant mortality due to accidental sudden sleep or strangulation deaths in bed. With that, what we want to do is educate the parents. What better way than get the first responders, police, fire, EMS. They're trusted. They're the ones that we want to get into the houses. People will talk to them. People will listen to them. Help educate mothers and fathers about safe sleep here in East Chicago.
All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Mike Sharp, firefighter paramedic at St. John Fire Department. Actually, some of the faces I recognize. I used to work here a couple years ago, quite a few years ago, for a couple years at the East Chicago EMS. We developed a program. We want to talk about SIDS. One of the first things to talk about SIDS, get SIDS out of the way. What we can and can't affect on educating parents about SIDS and our infant safe sleep program. I'm a mover, so it's kind of hard for me to stand here, and that's where I get kind of fumbly. So if I'm skipping through some stuff, it's because I want to walk around. We're fidgety. So here in the City of East Chicago, you guys got a big problem. The state of Indiana's got a major problem. Here in East Chicago, you got a big problem. Lake County had 59 SUIDs. SUIDs is the sudden unexpected infant death. You guys had 11 in East Chicago alone. That's more than anybody in the state. Any small city or town, I should say small, the size of East Chicago, it's too much. Way too many, too much. So what we want to do is we want to come up with something that's going to get an education out there to the parents, to the grandparents, moms, dads, sisters, brothers, aunts, and uncles. A little history, a little view of the infant mortality in 2017. Some of the numbers on here, I give a little spiel about the numbers. Some of the numbers on here bounce between 2015 and 2017. As you'll learn later on, everything goes into one title, it's SIDS/SUIDs. This is the last year you'll hear the word SIDS. It's supposed to be SUIDs from now on. So you'll see numbers that say 629 deaths. Well, now this number's down to 623 because these got ruled as carbon monoxide or something, influenza, pneumonia. The infant mortality that we're dealing with is the ASSB, the accidental suffocation strangulation in bed. That's the one we're focusing on. That's the number 59 and that's the number 11 for the City of Chicago. With that, I know it's kind of hard to see. Kind of go through. Here's your numbers, how that 59 breaks down for Lake County. 59 of those broke down. We've got 64% of them breaking into perinatal conditions. Perinatal conditions, we think we can't do nothing about that. Perinatal conditions are stuff that happens in utero while the child's developing, whether it's lungs, whether it's bellies, whether it's spleens, heart malformations. It's something, stillborns, it's something that deals with that. What we can do on that is through our education. We'll talk a little bit about it later. Unfortunately, he's not here right now, but we have programs that's going to help these mothers, low income, whatever the situation may be, get to doctors, get to nurses, get to some type of care to where they can find these earlier. You got 8.5%, which is your congenital malformations. Those are where the babies have internal things that were born externally. So you got holes in the heart, you got intestines that were born, the baby was born with a hole where the intestines came out. That's where the baby's not going to live more than 24 to 48 hours. Anything past that is actually a neonate, it's actually a born baby. Most of them are called stillborns or failure to thrive. Skip over that portion, we got assaults and injuries. That accounts for a simple 3.4. Assaults and injuries are not that big with infants. It's big when you get into the older kids where they fall, bike accidents, fall off the beds, things like that. These are assaults and injuries, car accidents, dropping the baby in the car seat, things like that. One of the other ones is your 5.1% is all your other that we don't know. Those are your flus, your pneumonias, your some type of respiratory problem that they were born with that just came up. Hole in the heart, sudden cardiac event, baby's dead. That's where those fall into. Now we go into ours. Ours is our SUIDs are 18.6%, whereas East Chicago is 11. 11 kids died. With that SUIDs, that's your true SIDS. That's the I don't know what happened, baby was alive 1 minute, dead the next. It also includes our accidental suffocation, strangulation, and bed babies. These are the ones we want to prevent. If we can get that number down, all of this is financial. And all of this has to do with a doctor or somebody going in and trying to find out what happened to the baby. If we can reduce the number on our end to find out, get rid of these SIDS, find out ways to get rid of the SUIDs, the accidental suffocation, we can invest more time and money in finding out what SIDS really is. Potentially, hopefully one day finding out that we'll have a cure for it, a vaccine for it, find out what the true cause is. If any questions come up, raise your hands, say something, scream, yell, throw something. So this, as I go back to the numbers are skewed. The numbers are kind of a little bad, mainly because with the white and the Hispanic infant mortality, those were low in East Chicago, so it threw the numbers off. The true numbers are really want to point out is your black infant mortality rate. You're at 22.5%. Lake County is at. Actually, I think the city of East Chicago is going to bump up this year. When they get the numbers out, you're going to see a rise in that, and I'll explain that in a second. The state of Indiana by itself is at 15.3, so we're close to doubling. We're potentially going to double just in Lake County what the numbers for the state are. So, 2017 there were 11 of your SUIDS cases in Lake County. That's the accidental suffocation, strangulation in bed. Ill-defined unknown causes of mortality. Those are the ones that we're working on. We're trying to find out why. All but one of these SUIDs in Lake County were among black infants. Goes back to all but one. So you had 11, all but one were black infants. That's not saying, we discussed this yesterday and I went home and I talked to my wife. Quick backstory, my wife is the labor delivery nurse manager at St. Catherine's. You get a lot of information from her on what happens. When you have a baby who is at home with the bed, everything's fine, baby dies. Mom grabs the baby, calls 911, meets you at the door. You grab the baby, start doing CPR, run to the hospital. Doctor touches the baby, does CPR, declares the baby dead. The baby died at the hospital. That's not a SUIDS case. Even though it's an accidental suffocation or strangulation, we never saw the house. So that baby gets marked as a SIDS case because the doctor's going to say, I don't know, baby's dead. Mom, Dad, can we do an autopsy? Imagine that. Doctor walks in the room minutes after your baby is pronounced dead. Can we do an autopsy on your child? We want to cut your baby in pieces to find out why we had this SIDS problem, why this baby died. I love this program. This is my program. I give it away to everybody. As I said earlier, I got a 19-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 2-year-old. I don't know. As much as I want to find the cure, I don't know that I can do that. I want to say yes. We need to find out the cause.